How's it going, everyone? And man, do I have some unfortunate news to go over in this video. I get it that LittleBigPlanet may have not reached the level that potentially Sony wanted it to get to, and I think the potential a lot of people saw back in 2008, but the fact that LittleBigPlanet 3 is getting delisted from the PlayStation Store is incredibly depressing, given that yes, we'll have Sackboy: A Big Adventure, but LittleBigPlanet 1 and 2 are locked away on the PlayStation 3, and those games are unplayable. Now LittleBigPlanet 3 is getting delisted from the PlayStation Store forever. I'm not certain why the reason is, but let's go over the post. Last chance to purchase LittleBigPlanet 3 and LittleBigPlanet DLC from the PlayStation Store. After 10 years of playing, creating, and sharing content in LittleBigPlanet 3, the game and our entire range of LittleBigPlanet DLC will be removed from the PlayStation Store on October the 31st. Anyone that currently owns or purchases LittleBigPlanet 3 or any LittleBigPlanet DLC before it is delisted for sale will still be able to access their purchased games and content after it's removed. That's a big component of this. I think some people are gonna misconstrue this into thinking that a game is being pulled from them and they'll not be able to access a game that they paid for. This is not the Ubisoft scenario. That's why the Ubisoft scenario was so much more infuriating than, you know, something like this where the crew just became a coaster, essentially, and physical copies became a coaster. It's not happening with the LittleBigPlanet 3, but the game is getting delisted. This is a friendly heads up that if anyone in the community or any newcomers still wish to own a digital copy of LittleBigPlanet 3 or any LittleBigPlanet DLC currently available for purchase, this is your last chance to do so. Even if you have a physical copy of the game, the DLC will still be gone for you, and this is another key indication of game preservation in the digital era. In a vacuum, LittleBigPlanet 3, it being delisted doesn't matter that much because the game exists physically. It's still unfortunate, and they are making the shift to all digital gaming. Like, that is obvious with the PS5 Pro, with the PS5 Digital Edition. We are slowly but surely inching closer and closer into a world where this is a reality. And it is just a little bit concerning when you do see instances like LittleBigPlanet 3, like The Crew, which, let me reiterate, The Crew was a far, far more egregious scenario where that game was online only, and after that game got delisted, it became literally worthless. And this has happened. Your copy of Massive Action Game on PlayStation 3 ain't getting you anywhere, buddy, but I digress. It's still not a great thing to go. Somebody also asked, will those who claim LittleBigPlanet 3 via the PS Plus monthly games a few years ago get to keep it? If you have downloaded LittleBigPlanet 3 via PlayStation Plus, you will still be able to play it after October 31st. Worded a little bit weirdly, but I believe it still is retained in your library. You just have to retain your PS Plus subscription, so that is a little bit of a bummer. And LittleBigPlanet was one of those IPs that kicked off back in the dark times of PlayStation. I would say in 2008, it was still, you know, pretty rocky territory for PlayStation 3. I look back at 2008 incredibly fondly. That's actually the year I got my PlayStation 3, June of 2008. Was like when I got my own PlayStation 3, but that was prior to the Slim coming out, and that was still a time where the PS3, I believe the cheapest model was like $400, and that was expensive given that the competitor was $300, but 2008 is where I felt like really it probably started in the fall of 2007. Fall of 2007 into 2008 is when the PlayStation 3 library really got cooking, and now a lot of people look back on the PS3 with incredibly fond remembrance, but pre-fall of 2007, pretty dark times. But fall of 2007 brought Uncharted 1, it brought Ratchet Tools of Destruction, continued in 2008, where I would say in June of 2008 we got the console's first true legit system seller in Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriot. Then it continued into the fall of 2008 with Resistance 2, as well as LittleBigPlanet 1. And I remember when LittleBigPlanet 1 came out, it shocked a lot of people in how good that game was, and I think a lot of people had the prospect that, oh my god, Sackboy is gonna turn out to be this mascot for Sony. You want to talk about how everybody is talking about Astrobot right now as developing into this incredible IP for Sony that is catering towards families and, you know, fathers with their kids and whatnot, and playing games together, etc., and being an accessible game to a younger audience. LittleBigPlanet was exactly that in the fall of 2008, and I really believe that LittleBigPlanet and Sackboy was going to be PlayStation's Mario. It never really panned out that way. LittleBigPlanet 2 ended up being received incredibly well as well. And then LittleBigPlanet 3 came out, they shifted the game to Sumo Digital, and I think it was a case of Sony going all in with who are the developers that I'm totally forgetting about? Media Molecule. Oh my goodness, I should have my rights to cover games revoked after blanking on Media Molecule. But Media Molecule was positioned to be this create, share, play studio, and they created Mod Nation Racers. But I feel like there was more to do with LittleBigPlanet, but with the IP really picking up at the dark days of the PlayStation. Again, 2008 was the kind of dark days for the PlayStation. It never really popped off more. We did get Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and I thought that game was quite good, but it never really resonated at a higher level that I thought there was always the possibility that it could have. And when a story like this comes out, it almost feels like we're ending the chapter of LittleBigPlanet 3. They do answer some other questions in that it is true that for all LittleBigPlanet DLC, so if there's anything left you want to add to your collection, we recommend that you pick it up before the end of the month. The base game itself is $19.99, so if you do want to have that in your library, that is available. There's a lot of DLC that is available. A lot of it is content that would be licensed. There's Back to the Future DLC, and then there's DLC for various PlayStation IPs. Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper. I don't know if this is a case of the licensing agreements expiring. That's a lot of the times what causes these games to be delisted, so keep that in mind. Again, I don't know if that is why this is happening. They don't actually give us real clarification, but for those of you that are worried about the future of digital gaming, I mean, this adds another layer to the skepticism and the caution that people have towards digital gaming. Now, again, you are retaining your game if you own it. If you have it through PlayStation Plus, you're going to own the game, but remember that as we are moving closer and closer to this all-digital world, you are foregoing more and more of your power as a consumer when you are buying digital games. I think Steam is a little bit ahead of the curve when they have things like family sharing built into their system, and I get like game sharing, you can finesse it and get it on PlayStation, but family sharing is built into Steam, and that tries to bridge the gap between digital and physical, and essentially allowing you to share games and lending them to your friends as if it was a physical copy. I think that is stuff that will at least mitigate the negatives of digital gaming, but ultimately you are still beholden to the mercy of the digital storefront, the publishers. There isn't this physical game that you can exchange with other people, and just remember that as we are going closer into digital. Look, I cover digital deals on this channel all the time, but there is a reality to the fact that there are shortcomings of digital gaming that really aren't going to be preventable. Licensing agreements are a real thing. Forza Horizon 4 is going to get pulled from Steam here shortly, but they always do it in a way where if you did buy the game, it will perpetually be there for you to own. You can delete it and re-download it. Let me reiterate that. It's not a case of you needing to download the game and having it downloaded forever for you to access the game. You can go back and download games. Like, I have Deadpool on Steam, and that's been delisted on Steam, and you can't buy it anymore. I don't have to have Deadpool downloaded. I can re-download it and delete it whenever I want, but that's in that case. Crew, I can still re-download, but that game's a coaster and doesn't have an offline component, so that's where the issue with that game comes about. But that'll do it for me. Again, kind of an unfortunate reality that LittleBigPlanet never really popped up. I would love for LittleBigPlanet 4 to be at some point greenlit. Media Molecule obviously wrapped up development on Dreams, and I don't know what they're working on next, but an LBP 4 would be pretty cool. I just don't know how much cachet LittleBigPlanet as an IP has at this point, but I would personally love to see it. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.